What's up, y'all? Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday night, episode 76.
Dang.
So, yeah, getting on up there. Uh, I'd say not a lot to talk about, but there are a few things to talk about in the sports world. Always
A little
is in the
bit.
sports world, just some weeks more than others. I don't know. There was kind of a big golf tournament, I think, that went on this past weekend. Not sure. Brad, you're going to have to tell us a little bit more about that. But first, I'm your host, Graham Powell, co host Bradley Brown. Say what's up, Brad.
What's happening?
And now we give a quick shout out to our sponsor. For those of you that know, uh, Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. Sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your favorite fitness app. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit those results to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Check out their gear section. They have t-shirts like this one I'm rocking right here, wristbands, decals, and more. rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. Also, you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, the Wisdom app. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Shoe Booty Sports. So, Masters recap. What was the guy? Rom? Is that how you say his last name?
Yep, John Rahm.
John. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember the first name. I wanted to say was John, but I was like, if I start off with that, it's going to be something else. So John Rom. It looked like what? Kepka was in the lead up until the very end.
Yeah, Kepka got off to a hot start. The first 3 days. Well, Saturday kind of teetered out a little bit, but that was kind of in thanks to all the weather that they had over the weekend. So they wrapped up round three and the final round on Sunday. Um, yeah, he went even for round three and slowly let it slip away on in the final round. But uh, but yeah, I think the biggest surprise of the weekend had to be any member from Live Golf, especially Phil. Phil snuck in there and finished at number two. Um, I did not see that. I don't think anyone's seen that coming. But
He
yeah,
had a hell
congrats.
of a final round, didn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. He went, I think, minus 7 or 8.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. And yeah, and at what 53? So yeah, giving a lot of old people hope there.
Phil looks a lot. I don't know how old Tiger is now. How old is Tiger? Do you know?
Mid 40s.
I
Uh,
would say at 53, he looks a lot better than Tiger does right now. Of course, obviously, Tiger's been through a lot, injury wise, and obviously a car wreck that where he nearly lost his leg. Man, it was rough watching him just try to walk, on that final
yes.
day before he withdrew. Yeah, I mean, he Tiger played okay, probably about like what we expected, right? He did make the cut, but we're celebrating like him making the cut now, which kind of just shows where he's at.
Yeah.
But when he won his last major, was it the Masters?
Yep. And it's 2019.
Was it 2019?
Yep.
Oh wow, okay. Doesn't feel like it was that long ago. I guess it is, but
Yeah. It's a little while ago. But yeah,
yeah,
he was, on the rise again, and then that accident happened. So he's
yeah,
he's lucky to still even be playing. So, but yeah, it's sometimes it's hard watching him. Uh, but yeah, you just sit there and wonder what if. But same can be said for a lot of players in a lot of different sports. So
say that right now about Phil. If Phil didn't do the live golf thing, I feel like that would be a much bigger story than what it is.
eh, I don't know.
If Phil was still
Maybe.
on the tour, people would be talking about this a lot more than they are. Phil's final round.
Oh yeah, hell, it was tough to even. I don't even think I seen him on TV until Sunday. I didn't get to watch any of these first or second round. Just seeing it, pop up on the score updates. Saturday's round, you didn't see him, even though he was making moves. And Sunday, hell, I think I started seeing him on his closing nine. So I don't know, they probably purposely shied away from showing him on TV. But then again, they had Kepka. I mean, you got to watch pretty much every hole he played for round 3 and 4. So there's that trade off. But
The
yeah,
most
three
I,
of what?
the
Yeah,
most I
three.
watched was on the treadmill. That was the most I watched. Now I did spend a lot of time on the treadmill this past week, but to be fair, but yeah, the most of the Masters I watched was while on the treadmill. But yeah, they showed a lot of Scotty Scheffler, um, which I know on this show based on the show basically. And
Yeah,
yeah, it showed a lot of Kepka. But what are your biggest takeaways from it?
biggest takeaways. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was by far, I think, the worst weather I've seen out for Masters weekend. I've never seen any trees get blown over on a golf course, especially a professional golf course. Um, the biggest takeaway from the weekend is live golf. I mean, 3 out of the top 5. There's no way around it. Kepka led it for the first 3 rounds, and you know, then you got Phil. I mean, Phil in second place. That's the biggest story. So I don't know. Now they've got a legitimate argument for the world golf rankings points and all that other good stuff. So it'll be interesting, to say the
makes
least.
makes things a little awkward, I would think, as far as all of it, coverage, interacting with the tour guys, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure some of the tour guys are also some of them have to be like at least while chatting with other guys. Like, I mean, that's a lot of money. I get it, kind of thing. That's how, I feel like that's how I would be.
Yeah,
But then again, I'm just the casual fan, casual golf fan. But had to make things a little little awkward. But I think it's good. I just from the aspect of we're talking about it. We're talking about golf, and I think some good things did come from Live Golf. The tour upped its pay. It upped its payout to
yeah.
guys, among other things. I think some good stuff did come from it. But yeah, I'm leaning on you for a lot of this master stuff. Like I said, watch some of it. Watch most of it on the treadmill when I was watching it. But yeah, weather not great. We had great weather. I don't know about Northwest Arkansas. We had great weather this weekend in Central Arkansas. Pretty wonderful Easter weather, by the way. Hey, yeah, happy Easter to everyone. A couple of days late on that, but it's okay. Now, what's the next one? What's the next major coming up?
You think the players? Maybe I think that's next month.
You're supposed to know this. You're the golf expert on this show. That would have been my guess, by
I
the
don't.
way.
Yeah, I don't have a calendar sitting in front of me, or do I? I don't. But eh,
All right, well, there's your stellar master coverage, everyone.
and it
Uh,
is the
sh-
players. So
okay, there we
we
go.
were right. So there you go.
All right, nailed it.
We
Okay,
know
now
our stuff.
moving on to other sports. The NBA play-in tournament game started tonight. Miami and Atlanta playing right now. Atlanta was leading, but they were only up 6 when I came in here to turn the computer on. 31 seconds now. I can't see the score. Do you have the score available in front of you?
I do not. Do not.
Okay. Well, cough button. I'm more so interested in the nightcap, the game after this, Lakers and Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, the T Wolves made the play-in game last year, and of course celebrated like they won the chip when they won it. And Pat, of course, that was a different team just because Pat Bev was on that team and kind of led that whole fiery celebration and all that. And the Lakers are actually playing relatively decent ball right now. That's the one I'm interested in. I like these play-in games though because I mean you see playoff basketball for these. I mean these guys are playing like it's the Natty, because this is
Mm.
their one. They got to win. They got to win to get in.
Yeah, Miami lost. It
Okay.
just game just ended 116 to 105.
Yeah, I was trying to get to my home screen and it just wouldn't go to it. All right, on the Espen app here. All right, so yeah, Atlanta gets it done. Moving on. I don't know who they play next, but I think it matters based on who how the rest of the playing games shake out. But yeah, the Lakers and Timberwolves playing the next one. That's the one I'm interested in. That's what I'll go tune into as soon as we get off of here.
I don't know if I can stay up for the end of that one. That's going to be pretty late.
Yeah, I don't know if I can stay. Well, it depends on how good of a game it is.
True, very true.
Could be a good one. We'll see. But let's go ahead and make our NBA Finals picks. Why not? Right? Let's just say who would we pick as far as getting there? I've got looking at it here. I got the Bucks coming out of the East. I think it's pretty hard to pick against them
Yeah,
as long as they stay healthy. I like the Bucks coming out of the East. The West, I'm still gonna say I'm. I don't know. I'm very hesitant about it, but I'm gonna say the Warriors. I'm gonna say the Warriors until you prove me otherwise that you can beat them in a best of seven.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with them. They've been sitting a lot of guys gearing up for a playoff run. I'll take the Warriors, but if the Warriors play the Bucks and the Bucks are healthy, I think the Bucks beat them in six in the NBA Finals. Our way too early prediction NBA Finals predictions, um, which that will obviously adjust accordingly if necessary. But who do you like coming out of the East and the West? Do you agree? Basically, do you agree or disagree?
I halfway agree and halfway disagree. I like the Bucks, but I don't know, man. Something about that KD guy and the Warriors not winning on the road. I'm going to roll with the Suns.
That's fair. I just think I would think about that. Have they lost with Kevin Durant in the lineup? Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think they have either. Now he sat for a lot of it, but I think once you hit the playoffs here, I think you're going to get a lot of. I think it's going to be similar, and it may not be. The Suns may very well come out of the West. I wouldn't be shocked by it, man.
You all
But
right over there?
I don't know. It started like right as soon as like I hit the record button too.
Yeah.
It's allergies, man. I'm on medication and everything. But I almost kind of think of it as like Jordan's Bulls when he came back in 95, like came back toward the end of the season, or like the halfway point of the season, where they didn't quite like gel together yet. And then they lose to the Magic in the playoffs in the divisional round. May have been I don't think it was the conference final, but I almost think it's similar to that. They haven't had quite enough time to gel together yet. May, yeah, maybe wrong. I don't know because the Suns are a veteran team in themselves, but yeah, I don't know. I still like I'll still take the Warriors, but that's a good pick. Suns are a good pick. I can't argue against it. But I do look forward to seeing the games, these playing games right now for sure. But okay, Major League Baseball. Tampa Bay is 10-0 right now. I don't know if you knew that or not. But
I
the
didn't know they were
Tampa
10-0. I knew they were 8-0 a couple of
as
days ago.
as of
But
tonight, as of Tuesday night, they are 10-0 and like the runs scored and runs allowed are ridiculous. Far and away better than anyone else in the league. 76 runs scored on the season in these 10 games. Only 18 runs allowed,
that's pretty good.
especially with the pitch clock and the getting rid of the shift and all that. Only 18 runs allowed in 10 games, and then 76 runs scored. That's over 7 runs a game. I mean, wow. It's too early to say, like, yeah, these guys have got to be the favorite, right? But
Man, yeah, it's a little bit too early. They
yeah,
play a lot of games.
they have
Well,
152 games left to play in the regular
yes,
season.
I was gonna say 10 down, like 200 more to go. I mean,
Feels like it.
yeah.
But yeah, 10-0, heck of a start. I still don't see what. Okay, what are the chances you give them of challenging the Mariners for like the league record and most wins in a regular season? Of course, that Seattle team didn't win it,
Uh,
the World Series. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. 15% chance. It's a long season. They got a shot.
yeah,
It's not zero, but they've
Yeah,
got a shot.
I'll say 10-0 is a good start. I think 15 is a good. I think that's a good guess. I was going to say 10, but I like 15 better. 10-0 is pretty promising, especially with the runs scored and runs allowed margin there. That's impressive. My Cardinals are 3-7, last in the Central Division right now. Very not
Sweet.
impressive. I did look at
Sweet.
their runs scored, runs allowed while I was at it. It's 40-49, so it's not terrible. So they're losing they're losing some close games just based on that margin. But Tampa Bay dominating right now in a tough division in that AL East. So we'll see if they can keep it up. Okay, touch up a little bit on the. Let's talk about the XFL a little bit. How much of it have you watched? Like, have you sat down and watched a whole game?
No,
I haven't either.
I watched it, flipped on and off of it. I don't know, a couple of times. Watched it here and there for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes max, for like the first 2 weekends. And then after that, I kind of forgot about it. I'd see highlights, but yeah, just guess I had better things to watch. Or
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I had it on for a little bit. Gosh, maybe Saturday or I can't remember what day it was. Sunday, maybe. I had it on one of these days this past weekend, and it was on for a little bit. And there were some good play. Like, there was some pretty decent football. Like, it wasn't bad football.
yeah,
But then I see that other stuff is on, so I gave it a shot. I don't think it's necessarily being football. Like, I got a couple of just thoughts on it. One, can it make it? And if not, why not? And I don't think the play is bad. I think the play is 10 times from what I've seen of it, it's 10 times better than it was their first time around, right?
yeah, for
Back
sure.
when we were still kids.
Hmm.
The quality of football is much, much better.
Yeah, back in the day, you could definitely believe those guys were not in the NFL. It's
Correct.
like, oh yeah,
And it was just sloppy. It was poorly done. It was too WWE.
yeah.
It just was it and not knocking WWE. That's just it's its own thing. Like, if I want to watch wrestling, I'll tune into that. If I want to watch football, I'll tune into something else. So,
When's the last time you watched some wrestling?
oh gosh, I don't know. I've seen highlights here and there, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's as big as it's ever been, if not bigger. Uh,
really?
yeah, Vince McMahon just sold WWE to Endeavor,
Yeah, I seen that.
the company that purchased UFC for 9.3 billion. So I think it's doing okay. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, but I mean, it's still a thing. It's not going anywhere. It's a pretty hot thing. But as far getting back to the point, I don't think it's the quality of football that's making people not necessarily tune into the XFL. It's not as good as the NFL. It's good football, but it's not as good as the NFL. We're used to watching great football.
Yep.
We're taking time out of our weekend to watch great football. And now that it's over, it's a lesser product. But at the same time, you have the best at their sport playing at the exact same time as this. Like just because there's not football on doesn't mean like I'd rather watch an NBA game than an XFL, like a good NBA game when
Yeah.
when the stars are actually playing. I'll take that over an XFL game any day, or just something else. Like
Wait,
my
XFL or professional bowling? What are you watching?
it depends on who's bowling. Now if the guy is who do you think I am? If that
Yeah,
guy's bowling,
definitely
I'll
watching.
I'll watch that guy.
Yeah.
But if it's I'll watch the XFL over just your generic bowlers going at it. Generic as in like your regular professional bowlers. Generic's a bad term. But yeah, the XFL is just it's yeah, I don't see it making it. I don't know that it makes it past this season. Uh,
I
what
think
do
it'll
you?
make it past this season.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it can last? Now their payouts aren't very much. Like AJ McCarron is taking $60,000 as opposed to the 4 million. He turned down 4 million to stay a backup in the NFL and took 60,000 to be a starting quarterback in the XFL. Now he's making memories and he's been in the league for not 10 years, but probably I don't know what, 7, 8 years now.
I was gonna say 6 or 7.
Yeah, but he's made that kind of money, every year. So he's not hurting. His family's not hurting. He's wanting to make some memories. Like he said, he misses playing. He wants to make some memories for his kids, for himself and his kids. So I can understand why he'd choose to go that route. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this can make it another season or another. I don't know if it can make it through the off season up until the next season, up until 2024.
Did the first go around? Did it make it past the opening season?
Are we talking about like when we were kids or like
Yes.
in
Whenever
okay?
we, yeah.
No,
Okay. Yeah.
no, it made it through the season. Like they had a champion and everything, but they didn't come back. Like the plug had to be pulled on it for various reasons. I watched the 30-30 on it. It's a good 30-30, but they played music throughout the entire thing, and the music was entirely too loud to the point I had to crank it up to hear the interviews, and I couldn't even really hear the interviews because that just made the music louder, and it was just distracting from the whole thing. So that was my big critique on whoever directed that. Like, can we have just some silence, like so I can hear the people talk? Like, does there have to be music playing throughout the film, the entire film? That was weird to me. But they did make it through that season. They were off to a good start, I thought, in 2020, and then the pandemic happened. And then that just shut everything down. Vince sold it to the Rock and Company and a couple others for 15 million. McMahon took out a quarter billion in WWE stock to get the league started and ended up selling it for 15 million. Now he's not hurting. Like I said, just sold WWE for 9.3 bill. So he's doing okay there. But yeah, I just don't know that I don't know that another and it's not a knock on the XFL. I think they're doing some good things. I think they're doing about everything they can to make it. I just don't know, and this goes for the USFL, any other league that's trying to start up. I just don't know that you can do it because you can start up, but I don't think you're necessarily going to make it, at least long term. Like history has shown that. Two, it's just the reasoning is simple. It can be a good product, but it's not as good as the competition. And even though the competition isn't on at the same time, you're still competing with other pro sports, pro basketball, uh, pro baseball. People are tuning into pro baseball more now because of the rule changes. Baseball
NHL,
finally smartened up. Yeah,
bowling,
NHL.
not
Um,
bowl.
women, yeah, women's college basketball. is on the rise. We're talking about it. I mean, they had 10 million people watch the national championship game. We'll touch up on that a little bit too. Like we did last week. Check out our episode last week on the women's national championship game. I thought we had one of the smartest takes on it. A lot of people have kind of, gone another way, but I really like our take on it, and just check out that episode. Check out my column on it on our website, shoebootysports.wordpress.com, by the way. But women's hoops on the rise, women's college hoops, that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know that another football league can make it, outside of college football, besides the NFL.
What do you think? So, well, I guess which one do you see doing better, the USFL or the XFL?
I haven't seen enough of the USFL to know.
Yeah, I don't think that they've played, but
No, they don't. I don't think they might play this weekend. I think it starts this weekend or next, this weekend or next. Something. I know they start in April. I think it's this weekend they start, but I can't really compare the two just because I haven't seen enough of the USFL to know. I don't know if it's more like traditional NFL or if they tweak some stuff like the XFL has. That's the thing. I think the XFL has done some things better than pro football. The kickoffs are excellent. Like
yeah,
the kickoffs are how it should be played in at the professional level in the modern era like this. I think they knocked that out of the park. I really like that. They've done some good things. Like I said, it's good football. The bit I've watched, it's just I haven't sat down and watched an entire game like I do the NFL, and I don't know that I will, and I don't know that enough people will to keep the league around. But I haven't seen enough of the USFL to from when they were around last year to really have an opinion on it. Really have any kind of educated opinion on it.
hell, I forgot they were around last year. So
See, I guess I would say the XFL just because they're more unique. Like they're at least their own thing. Like they've
yeah,
done that. They're like, no, we do this in this league. Like I said, the kickoff rules are different in other areas. We can spend half of the episode touching up on. But I would say the XFL just because they're more unique in that way. So if I had to pick one of the two to watch, it'd be that. But I don't know. Do you think it's possible that another professional football league can make it apart from the NFL? Because history has proven otherwise.
probably not.
But apart from any other reason that I've stated, is there anything else that sticks out to you, or is there anything I'm overlooking? Like, well, maybe
No,
this is how they could make it.
no, I don't know how they can make it because I think the first time around they tried to do it in the fall, and that was just competing at the wrong time of the year with NFL. And I think the seasons were longer, so they tried to move it to the opposite end of the year and shorten up the season and hope that improve the ratings. And I still don't think that's a yeah, I don't think that's going to help them out at all either because, like you said, other professional sports are playing. And it's about to be playoff time. It is playoff time in basketball. It's about to be playoff time, and or no, NHL still has a while. Yeah, it yeah, too many other sports, man. Too much stuff to watch.
Too
And yeah,
much, too
those are
much to compete with.
it's professional, but it's not it's not the big boys. So
No, it's not. But and it's not just sports. There's more streaming options now than ever. It's not like when we were kids and you had to be home at a certain time to tune into this. You go home and you watch whatever you want to watch at your convenience,
yeah,
like through streaming, be it Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, all of that. I mean, there's so many streaming there's so many options that I may pick a show on Paramount Plus over sitting and watching, a regular season XFL game. And I'm a big sports guy. So to me, it's too hard to do, especially when, like I said, not I don't know that anybody's necessarily football fatigued, but they are a little bit. Like it's almost like I look forward to the basketball season now. I look forward to playoff basketball. Oh, baseball's underway. I get to go back to minor league games, and have
Mhm.
barbecue nachos and stuff. I mean, you look forward to that other stuff. You almost kind of want to put it to
It's
bed a little bit.
Yeah, and especially if you're some idiot that's in 4 different fantasy football leagues, you get a little exhausted after a full season of football.
I would imagine so. Poor gosh, that's so many. Shout out to the Western University Dolphins, by the way, for winning the fantasy basketball championship. 13
Oh
and one
yeah.
record. Yeah, 13 and one record. Beat the guy who was undefeated going into this. Beat him by 600 points. Basketball's different. Scoring is wild. But yeah, shout out there. Not that anybody cares but me, but still very cool. Sticking with basketball, the WNBA Draft had their draft last night, I believe it was. Aaliyah Boston of South Carolina taken first overall. And I can't even remember who it was. I didn't write it down, but I can't even remember who it was that drafted her. But that's kind of my point a little bit, comparing that to like women's college basketball and how the women's game in college basketball is on the rise. There are a couple of reasons for that. Like you could argue going into next season, the women's game is going to have more interest, at least in college basketball, or maybe more hype than the men's game. And that's largely due to the fact that the guys don't stick around. The great players are gone.
Mm.
They're gone after the first year, and then you got a new crop coming in who you don't know who they are outside of the fans that follow the team. But we know who Caitlin Clark is. We know who Paige Beckers is. We know who Angel Reese is. We knew who Aaliyah Boston was. And I'm not a I'm a casual women's basketball fan. I tuned in because I saw highlights of this and numbers from this girl named Caitlin Clark who plays like Steph Curry. Like I've never seen this before. I'm going to tune in, and that's why millions tuned in. And we had the national championship that we had, and officiating ruined a great deal of it, but we're still talking about it. And like you're seeing these players stick around, like, and even like rivalries that could come from it too, like the trash talk back and forth just in the national championship game alone. You know, people are going to be talking about that, looking forward to a possible rematch, maybe, or at least paying more attention to these players, no matter which side you're on. If you chose a side, or if you're just indifferent and like the show. But Angel Reese was a sophomore. She'll be back at least another year. And Caitlin Clark's going to be a senior, but she's talked about possibly staying for both years of eligibility. And I'm thinking, why not? Why not? You're with the NIL deals going around. It's not like you're going to the NBA and making millions. I don't know what they're making at the WNBA level, but it's not what they're making at the NBA level.
No.
So why not stick around in college for as long as you can? Get that NIL money. I mean, your sponsors are going to follow you to the NBA, at least a lot of the big ones. But a lot of those local sponsors that are paying a lot of money. I'm sure Caitlin Clark is getting a lot of money coming out of Iowa. I don't know if they're necessarily going to follow her to the NBA. And you could say that about Angel Reese. You could say that about whoever else. You know what the other stars at that level in the women's college basketball game. But it's on the rise, and it's pretty cool to watch. But it was yeah, I look forward to already it just ended, and I look forward to kind of seeing, like, I made just on Twitter, I was like kind of just browsing through, and I would see a tweet like so and so, a big time post player entering the transfer portal at a big time women's college, basketball school. And I'm thinking, and then people are like, oh, are they going to this person saw somebody had said this person played, AAU ball with Caitlin Clark, and they're just trying to connect the dots, like could she possibly transfer here? And then you see stuff from other teams like that. And I find myself like slight kind of interested in it when otherwise I never would have been. So it's interesting to watch in the women's game that they're better off in college possibly than and probably than going to the WNBA. Kind of fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
But and especially considering the men's game is just completely different. People are it's good basketball still, but I mean, not like they're not playing great basketball, but these players don't stick around. I couldn't tell you one starter for the San Diego State team. Couldn't tell you one. And that was the national runner up. So it's interesting. It's an interesting time. We've never seen anything like this before, and it's kind of fascinating to me. All right, so softball and baseball. Let's give a quick shout out to those two. First of all, shout out to the Arkansas baseball team. 25-6 overall, leading the West Division at 8-4. I didn't realize the Razorback baseball team was 25-6. I saw that they beat Ole Miss in a 3-game series over the weekend, winning the last game Sunday. But yeah, shout out to the Arkansas baseball team, Dave Van Horn. Vanderbilt's 11-1 right now, by the way, in conference play. But then again, that's
Dang.
Vandy too.
Mm.
I mean, Vandy has some real SEC baseball is tough, and SEC softball has gotten tough. The Arkansas ladies, two-time defending SEC champs, by the way. But they entered tonight. They entered tonight, Tuesday night, 28-12 and a 9-6 record in SEC play. Third in the SEC standings right now. It looks like Tennessee and Georgia, the top two teams there. I think Arkansas split the series with them. Georgia maybe lost it. I think I can't remember. Probably so, just based on looking at their records. But how about this? The UCA Bears, I think, hosted the Razorback softball team tonight. UCA beat Arkansas 4-0.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know if they're playing like a doubleheader or anything like that, but could just be one game. But yeah,
It's
shout
probably
out
just a one game if it's midweek
probably. But
because Hogs played Euler tonight. So
shout out University of Central Arkansas Lady Bears, man. Bears softball team beating the Razorbacks, beating the defending SEC champion. So shout out Conway, Arkansas, man. Conway, Arkansas. Gosh, my throat is jacked up. But probably a good time to get out of here and go catch this Lakers Timberwolves game. We'll
yep.
have more to talk about next week, but till then, we're gonna get out of here. Grandpa, your host.
Brother Brown.
All right, deuces, y'all.